All right, so hitting your first jump at the terrain park is a little nerve-wracking, but it's also very fun and very rewarding, and it'll open up so many things, and it's probably the best feeling ever when you're flying through the air. So here's how you can do your first ever jump at the terrain park. So you want to make sure you don't go too fast or too slow. Now, it is okay to go too slow on the small beginner jumps because the knuckles, they're usually not that big. If you go too fast and overshoot it, you want to try to land on the tail and kind of like, you know, set the landing strip down, you know, like you're a plane. Pew! Also a little hack, typically when they design parks, you don't drop at the entrance. You drop at these. So when you speed check before going to the ramp, you don't want to stay on edge when you're actually hitting the jump. So a lot of people are always saying, you know, when you're riding, stay on an edge. When you're hitting a jump, it's actually best to go flat base right when you're going up that ramp. If you are gonna stay on an edge, try to be a little bit on your toe side. Do not jump off your heel side. Obviously your calves and your ankles, they don't spring up that way. And I've made the mistake of going off jumps with my heel side. The other thing is also, if you're going off your heel side, it's harder to bend your knees. And I've also learned that the most important thing is don't go off jumps completely straight legged. When you're straight legged and you try to go off, you can't really compress and deal with the absorption and impact. You don't have as much control, and sometimes you can just whoop, boot out. But that was pretty brutal. So now I know to keep my knees bent. I was also leaning back and I just went yeet. So you don't want to lean back and you don't want to lean too far forward because then you can kind of get all squirrely. Ideally, you want to ride up the ramp and you want to keep your back straight and your legs centered. You're just going to keep your upper body in its same position and your legs and below your hips. That's going to do the motion. So you're kind of going to have your lower legs go up, kind of like a wave motion. So you're gonna, I mean, if you skateboard, it's kind of like a wally. You're gonna let them go up. So front leg lifts up, back leg comes up, and then you suck your legs up, and then you're gonna kind of bone it and then go down the other side. Ideally, you wanna keep your knees bent when you go off the jump, and then keep your knees bent, and then keep your body loose and your back straight when you're going off the jump, and then just stay in line the whole jump. And then when you land with your knees bent right away, then you'll also land flat base, obviously. And then once you kind of get control, then you can start switching over to your edges. So.